Hey there, and welcome. Today we're diving into two resources that are so fundamental to our lives, we kind of take them for granted: energy and water. But how we manage them, well, that has a massive impact on our world and, our future. So let's get right into it. Okay, let's start with the most basic truth, right? Energy and water aren't just things we buy. They are the absolute pillars of our modern lives, and frankly, the health of our planet. It sounds simple, but everything we're about to talk about really builds on this one core idea.
And this isn't some far-off, abstract thing. Just think about your morning today. That alarm clock that woke you up, the hot shower, the coffee you brewed, the light you flicked on, all of it, every single bit, was powered by the very resources we're discussing. They're woven into the fabric of our daily routines.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at how these resources fuel our everyday lives. Then we'll tackle the first pillar, the energy story. After that, pillar 2, the water story. Then we'll connect the dots to the corporate world, and finally, wrap it all up by talking about our shared responsibility here. All right, first up, powering our daily lives. This part is all about, pulling back the curtain on these invisible forces that are always working in the background to make our modern world even possible. Okay, let's build out our first pillar, the energy story. We're going to dig into where our power actually comes from, and maybe more importantly, why it matters so much how we manage it.
So when we say energy, what are we really talking about? Well, in simple terms, it's the juice that lights up our world. It runs all the machines that make our lives easier, from the phone in your hand to the giant equipment in a factory.
And where do we get this energy? Well, you've got the traditional sources, the fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. But now we're also seeing this huge rise in renewable sources like solar and wind, and honestly, they're becoming more and more essential to how we think about power.
And that brings us to a really big question. We've got all these sources, we use energy 24/7, so why is everyone always talking about saving it? Does it really make a difference if you leave a light on? What's the big deal?
Well, here's the deal. There are some huge reasons. For one, a lot of our energy sources are finite. There's only so much of them. Two, using them, especially those fossil fuels, can cause a lot of pollution. On a more personal level, just saving energy saves money for everybody. And all of that, it just rolls up into one massive point. It helps protect our environment. All right, let's pivot now to our second pillar, the water story. Just like energy, it's absolutely fundamental to, everything. But water is facing its own unique and pretty massive set of challenges.
I mean, what even is water? It's the one thing that all life as we know it needs to survive. Simple as that. It's not just for drinking, right? It's crucial for growing our food on farms and for making basically everything in factories. It's truly the lifeblood of our entire society.
But, and this is a big but, we have some serious problems. A lot of places are dealing with critical water shortages. Pollution is threatening our rivers and oceans. We see a ton of waste both at home and in industry. And for millions of people, just getting safe, clean water is still not a guarantee. Now, you might think of this as just an environmental thing or a social issue, but it raises a really important question for the business world. Why should companies care? How does this stuff directly affect them?
Well, think about it. Factories depend on huge amounts of water for production, and the wastewater they create, if it's not handled right, it can become a major source of pollution. So for any company that wants to be responsible and sustainable, managing water is absolutely non-negotiable.
So we've got energy and we've got water. And this next part is where those two stories really crash into each other, the corporate connection. Because let's be honest, companies are massive users of both, which means their role in all of this is absolutely critical. And you can see the two stories running in parallel so clearly here. Take energy. Companies use it to power machines and lights. The potential impact? Pollution and using up resources. Now look at water. It's used for production, farming, and in factories. The potential impact? Water waste and polluted rivers. You can really see how their responsibilities for both are totally intertwined.
So, given how big of a footprint companies have, what's the solution? What's the path forward? That brings us to our final section, and it's all about a shared responsibility.
And here it is, a really clear, actionable game plan. Companies can work to save electricity for starters. They can switch to cleaner energy sources. On the waterfront, they can set up systems to reuse water inside their own operations and really focus on cutting down the wastewater they produce. These are real, practical steps that make a big difference.
So the biggest takeaway here is this. It's not just about helping the planet or saving a few bucks. It really boils down to this simple idea. Saving resources helps everyone. It's a win for the planet, for society, for the company itself, and of course, for all the generations to come.
And with that, we're going to leave you with this final thought. Should companies be on the front lines of saving energy and water? Just think about everything we've covered and try to come up with one good reason for your answer. It's a question that's definitely going to shape the world we all share.